Bryce, this is Floyd. Could you please move Ted Maxwell from participant to panelist? Ted Maxwell. Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Maxwell. Do you like me to quick audio check? Do you mind getting an audio check as well?
I'm here.
Perfect. I can hear you. Thank you.
Good morning. Apologize for being about 3 minutes tardy today, but it is 9:03 a.m. and I call this board meeting to order. It's Friday, August 15th, and welcome to the Arizona State Transportation Board. Let's all rise, and Floyd will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
This meeting is being recorded.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Floyd. Karen, would you please conduct the roll call?
Yes, Chair Daniels,
Present.
Vice Chair Maxwell, Board Member Howard,
Present.
Board Member Elters, Board Member Pashlikai,
Here.
Board Member Hermosillo, Board Member Bracker.
Present.
Karen, I understand that Board Member Maxwell is online.
Okay.
Have we moved him over to a panelist? I think he was.
Madam Chair, he is online, and I did hear him say present.
Oh, you did? Okay, I missed his voice. Thank you.
Okay. Chair, you have a quorum. You may proceed.
Thank you so much, and thank you to Graham County for hosting us today. I know in a few minutes we'll hear from County Supervisor Paul David, and appreciate the hospitality and opening up their facilities on our behalf. I drove in this morning and just had wonderful rainstorms, and it made everything look so green. But this is my second weekend in a row in Graham County, and I feel like it might have a little piece of my heart. So thanks so much for having us here today. Does any other board member, particularly Board Member Howard, being that this is your district, want to speak?
Thank you so much. I just welcome you here. We have a lot of things happening in our state, and you'll hear about that later, and a lot in our county and in the district. And I appreciate all of the people from Graham County coming out to learn. I visited with quite a few of you before the meeting, and I appreciate that you took the time to come here and become informed so you can share with others. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Board Member Howard. Is any other board member? We do have a special announcement because there's a new face up front. Is that formalized, Floyd, as far as, or do I just get to introduce him?
You may introduce him, yes, ma'am. This is his first meeting, but he has met all the requirements to participate.
Terrific. Well, we'd like to welcome Mr. Bruce Backer to the Arizona State Transportation Board. Thank you so much for joining us. And you are in place of Richard Searle, who was an outgoing and stayed with us for as long as I'm sure he could. But thank you so much, Mr. Backer, for being here.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairwoman. I'm going to actually see Richard this afternoon.
Give him a hug from all of us. We will do. Thank you. All right, Floyd, can you please proceed with the Title VI Civil Rights Act?
Yes, ma'am. But I would like to comment. I don't want anybody to be offended, but I will say Mr. Searle was extremely happy that he finally had a compadre on the board. So the term ended up in January, but he continued to participate. Title VI, pursuant to Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Americans with Disability Act, the Arizona State Transportation Board and ADOT do not discriminate on the basis of race, color, national origin, or disability. No person will be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefit of, or be otherwise subjected to discrimination under any Arizona State Transportation Board or ADOT program or activity. To assist in measuring the public's participation, we ask individuals to please complete an online self-identification survey, and the link to that survey is on the agenda. For those present, we have survey cards at the table at the entrance to the chambers. Please fill out a card and leave it there. We'll pick it up at the end of the meeting. By completing this voluntary survey, ADOT will be able to determine who attends its public meetings and how the department can improve participation. The survey will also help ADOT fulfill federal reporting requirements. Thank you.
Thank you, Floyd. We'll now proceed to call to the audience. We have, I think, just one online, and then the rest of them are in person today. So we will start with Graham County Supervisor Paul David. On deck will be Jacob Allen.
Thank you, Chairwoman, and thank you for ADOT staff, as well as Transportation Board members for your travel. We are pleased to host and that you would consider being here. Our most prominent feature in our county is Mount Graham. At 10,720 feet, it's the third tallest, but it's also the most prominent as far as it's the vertical rise from 3,000 foot, a little under 3,000 to 10,700. Our county was named after Lieutenant Colonel James Duncan Graham, who was part of Stephen Kearny, General Stephen Kearny's expedition during the Mexican War. And he was a topographical engineer, and so he was a famous surveyor, and he ended up with he surveyed the Mason-Dixon line as well as some other things, and also surveyed part of this county. So we are grateful, as you may have, if you came in last night, the cold air, thermodynamics, cold air is heavier than hot air, and at night it sinks and comes down the mountain and takes away our heat island effect, and we end up about 15 to 20 degrees cooler than Phoenix when we watch the 10 o'clock news, which is a blessing. I wanted to thank ADOT and our State Transportation Board member. Wanted to thank ADOT for the projects that we do have and very capably administered by our Assistant District Engineer, Brian Jevis, and our area engineer, area administrator, Todd Emery. They're just finishing up a roundabout. We've had some great pavement projects. There's some passing lanes that are getting started. We know money's short, but we do get a lot of bang for our buck out of safety projects. The downside is that's reactive as a result of accidents and problems, and it would be great if we could move from being reactive to proactive, and that would take almost an act of God. But anyway, we are grateful for that, and Jenny is a tremendous, her husband is my seatmate, and she has a pretty tough job. Imagine a teeter-totter. On one end is Pinal County, and on the other end is Graham and Gila County. And Graham and Gila County are, when it comes to population and transportation needs, we never get our feet on, hardly get our feet on the ground. Pinal County's always got the weight, and but Jenny does a great job of balancing things out, and that's not the only district that has those dynamics. I would just, in closing, just mention, as the 5-year transportation plan, there are some modifications as funding becomes available. We've got, this next year, we've got a pavement project, but we've got 3 years with nothing in the 5-year transportation plan for Graham County. No reflection on Jenny. It's just the triage and the needs of the many versus our needs. But there are opportunities to make those adjustments, and I would ask at this time, as on behalf of Graham County, that you would consider as funds become available and needs are identified, consider making some adjustments. And in closing, I know that I've got the welcome, and I know I have a time limit as a member of the public, but I would just say that Graham County, we as with County Supervisors Association and the Rural Transportation and Advocacy Council and the COGS,
that we work with and the MPOs. We are committed to working toward increasing transportation funding. We know that that is critical, and that is something the ADOT cannot do for themselves, but we can advocate for them. And it'll make your job a lot easier when you're triaging and in crisis mode, trying to distribute the very few funds to an awful lot of needs. We pledge that we will continue to push for some changes at the legislature and some funding to going from 18 cents per gallon for gas tax, and without an index, with a CPI index, we'd have a 42-cent gas tax if we'd done that over the last since 1991. We don't. We don't have an indexing, and that would only help going forward. And in closing with an analogy, if you had a perpetual teenager and they had a $20 allowance in 1991, today, based on inflation, you'd be giving them $8.40 a week for their allowance, and that would, I don't think that they'd be very happy. So we've got some significant challenges. We've got a wonderful board, and would welcome you. We will work together, and thank you, and welcome again to Graham County.
Thank you, Supervisor Paul. Jacob Allen, you're up. And we'll take Edward Rose on deck.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. My name is Jacob Allen, and I'm here today on behalf of the Arizona Airports Association to speak on the impact of the recent $15.8 million sweep from the Arizona State Aviation Fund. This fund exists to support airport projects that keep transportation networks safe, efficient, and connected. When $15.8 million was diverted, dozens of shovel-ready projects lost the resources to move forward. These are critical projects. They're essential safety upgrades, pavement rehabilitations, and infrastructure improvements. Many airports had already invested in planning and engineering. Without funding, the projects stall and our costs rise. Here are a few examples from our airports. Shoal Regional Airport, where I serve, planned to replace and relocate a primary wind cone in fiscal year 26, a basic safety tool pilots use to determine wind direction and speed, and FY26 program's cancellation means that we cannot complete the project. Safford Regional Airport is awaiting funding for several pavement projects, Taxiway Charlie reconstruction, Taxiway which is a PCI of 23, Taxiway Delta reconstruction, which is a PCI of 20, and to rehabilitate a T-hanger apron, which the PCI on that apron is 15. Sedona Oak Creek Airport, who you'll also hear from today, had a critical drainage project scheduled to prevent erosion and protect infrastructure. Without the funding, the airport faces higher maintenance costs and serious potential safety hazards. These delays carry real economic and safety consequences. Arizona's airports generate over $38 billion annually and support more than 269,000 jobs. Every dollar invested in aviation returns dividends through tourism, business development, emergency response, and freight movement. Sweeping the aviation fund also means losing FAA matching funds, millions of federal dollars that will instead go to other states. Budgets are tight, but aviation is not a luxury. It's essential infrastructure. It's an air ambulance from a rural town to Phoenix in under an hour, an air tanker halting a wildfire, and a business traveler bringing new investments to Arizona. On behalf of Arizona Airports Association, I urge you to advocate for protecting the aviation fund and restoring the $15.8 million for its intended purpose, investing in airports that connect, protect, and sustain Arizona. The State Aviation System Plan is currently assessing pavements at airports statewide, and early estimates of pavement conditions are at approximately 72%, and maintaining this score will likely cost significantly more than $10 million statewide. Thank you for your time and your commitment to our state's transportation system. Thank you.
Thank you. We will move to Cameron Atkin. Oh, excuse me. I said Edward Rose. My apologies. And Cameron Atkins will be on deck.
Good morning, Madam Chair and board members. I'm Ed Rose, the airport manager at the Sedona Airport, the 2025 Arizona Airport of the Year. And I'm also president of the Arizona Airports Association, representing 67 public use airports. My focus today is on three distinct subjects: preservation of the State Aviation Fund, the state and local grant programs, and rural air service development. The Aviation Fund is user-supported by aircraft licensing, aircraft fuel taxes, jet fuel excise taxes, flight property taxes, Grand Canyon revenue, and investment interest. The three-year average of these sources is almost $33 million per year. To have any portion of these revenues swept is, to the general fund, is a disservice to airports, delaying critical safety improvements and increasing costs by between 4 and 12%. Arizona lacks leadership in rural air service development. The number 1 and 2 tourist destinations in Arizona don't have air service. Other state programs yield a return on investment of 40 to 1, $40 for every dollar invested. Arizona's should benchmark the most successful of other state programs and implement them here. Significant economic impacts are being left on the table. Each of you have airports or airport within your districts. Airports mean business. You don't see the state aircraft defer maintenance for years, so please don't ask airports to do so. Please don't allow a sweep of airport user-generated funding. Support airport funding. Again, on behalf of Arizona's 67 public use airports, thank you for the opportunity to address this board. And of course, I'm happy to meet with any board member at any time to further discuss comprehensively some of the airport's needs across the state. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ed. Cameron Atkins with Mayor Nancy Smith on deck.
Good morning, Madam Chair, board members. My name is Cameron Atkins. I'm the airport manager for Safford Regional Airport here in Graham County. We're the only paved airport in Graham County, and I'm also an executive director for the Arizona Airports Association. As Ed mentioned, we represent over 67 public use airports in the state of Arizona. I'm going to highlight today investments that are needed in rural air service development. As many of you may be aware, Safford is currently one of the only rural airports in the state that has air service after we launched air service in January of this year. We invest a lot of money in our airports, both the FAA and ADOT, and as with any investment, we want to capitalize on that investment and use it to grow our communities. And the primary way we do that is through airline service. Very few of our communities, as I mentioned, have airline service. Most of those communities are within the center corridor of the state: Tucson, Phoenix, Phoenix Mesa Gateway, with very few other communities like Yuma, Flagstaff, Show Low, and Prescott, with some of those communities receiving federal subsidies. However, most of our airports around the perimeter of the state do not have air service, and there's currently no state leadership to centralize air service development efforts. Currently, only 11 out of our 67 public use airports in the state have airline service. And the two largest tourism destinations in the state, as Ed mentioned, do not have airline service, those being Grand Canyon National Park Airport, which is owned and operated by ADOT, and Sedona Airport. Airline service not only connects rural communities to global markets by promoting tourism, it also promotes economic development, which we desperately need in a majority of Arizona's small communities. In order to meet our mission of developing rural air service, a consortium of communities has been formed to develop a state air service program consisting of Safford, Sedona, Kingman, Lake Havasu, Mojave County, which the Mojave County Airport Authority operates Laughlin Bullhead Airport, the Yuma County Airport Authority operating Yuma International Airport, Flagstaff, Grand Canyon, and Grand Canyon West airports. Our intent is to work with the legislature and the Arizona Office of Tourism to establish a state air service program, and we would appreciate the State Transportation Board's leadership as we push forward this effort. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cameron. Mayor Nancy Smith with Bill Brandow on deck.
Thank you, Chair Daniels, and thank you, board members. Thank you, Board Member Howard, for welcoming us to your wonderful community. I'm here to share a few things with you. We had our communication parties regarding 347. It was a great turnout from our families, but a great education opportunity for our young families. We had message boards up that talked about the schedule, talked about a variety of different aspects of the project, and they were just so excited to learn, but they just had fun as well. I also want to thank staff for the 30% design for the State Route 347. Great information. We appreciate sharing this information and look forward to those additional conversations in the future. We're excited to get design completed and get shovels in the ground, but I think this is my most passionate conversation with you. I'm passionate about transportation funding, and what comes to mind is that for the last 15 years, City of Maricopa has been working with our federal congressional members and our senators, and they are prepared for the fact that when 347 got on the 5-year plan, they would be our partners in getting funding from the federal funds. And so let's work together to get grants from the federal grants that are available to us, because our partners there are ready and willing to help us out. I loved Supervisor David's comments, because we just had a chamber meeting at the City of Maricopa, and we had our legislators there, and we talked heavily about state funding for transportation. I'm passionate about getting the funding wherever we can get it, and I'm happy to be a partner, and the City of Maricopa is happy to be a partner as well. So please take us up on that. We'd love to be a partner. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Smith. Bill Brandow is up with Kevin Beastie on deck. Thanks.
Thank you, Madam Chair and the board. My name is Bill Brandow, and I'm coming as a citizen of Graham County. My wife told me a short story, and I got 3 minutes. Jenny told me also. I came to Graham County 49 years ago. I am pre-Superstition Freeway, pre-202. I came as a range conservation, worked for the BLM, retired as field manager here. I've been involved in transportation issues, now retired 18 years from the BLM. I worked for U of A for 14. I have a small farm east of town here. My stories are real. My son, at the intersection of Highway 70 and Sanchez Road, was involved in a head-on accident. He was 3 cars behind the car that hit them all head-on. All 4 cars were totaled. Amazingly, nobody was killed. My wife, at that intersection, has been passed 2 times on the left side because they think it's a passing zone. She's in the turn lane trying to turn onto Sanchez Road. Myself, multiples, but the 2 dramatic ones, the San Simon Bridge, east of town on Highway 70. We thought it was wonderful to get the turn lane east of town to San Simon Bridge. However, it is a launch pad now at the San Simon Bridge. When people hit the San Simon Bridge, it's time to pass. So if you're going westbound on San Simon, on Highway 70, which I was one morning, you better watch out. You better know where the bar ditch is, because they're gonna run right into you. Passing. I don't know how many times I've been passed in no passing zones in this county. One of the classics one is, I was coming to town just the first of the year, had a stock trailer with some cattle in it, and I was just going along the highway about 50 miles an hour in a 55 miles an hour zone. I passed the San Simon, made that, got to the Freeport building, here they come. I got passed 3 times. They were passing in the turn lane. I was going legally, granted not 55, but about 50 miles an hour. Got passed 3 times before we hit Lone Star. And then the most tragic one was most recent, is the guy that cuts my hay. His daughter was out on the Highway 70 just east of Solomon. She was pulling a hay rake on a tractor. Is a mid-morning, straight road. Somebody came and hit her from behind, drove the rake over the top of the tractor, got everybody stopped. Fortunate, nobody was hurt that time. The two people that were in the car that hit him got out, she was out, and lo and behold, another person came and hit them all. The two people that were in the first crash got killed, and the car that hit them got killed. The young lady, my friend's daughter, did not get hurt. I could tell you stories all day long about that. First, actions, people need to take personal responsibility. I know.
Forgive me for interrupting.
3 minutes, okay.
Thank you.
Enforcement and change. I believe that there needs to be some design changes on some of these highways. I know you can't rebuild everything, but there needs to be some, because there are definitely serious. And I appreciate you coming. I sit in your seat, and many a row, and cheap seats like me, you need to be heard because those are important people. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Kevin Beastie, you're up with Supervisor Alton Joe Shepard on deck.
Good morning, Madam Chairwoman, members of the board. For the record, my name is Kevin Beastie, and I'm here this morning on behalf of Freeport-McMoRan. I'm glad I followed this speaker because I'm just here to give you a quick update on a safety initiative that Freeport's working on with the state of Arizona and Greenlee County. I mentioned at a previous board meeting that many employees of the Morenci area were concerned about highway safety and driver behavior on the roadways. We met with Director Toth and her senior team back August or July of last year, and State Engineer Byers launched a roadway safety assessment of the road that is being finalized right now. There were a couple of minor, well, I'll say minor, but there were a couple of roadway issues that were identified, but what we really got out of the report was driver behavior, and it's what we've been talking about for years. And so we're hoping, and the two main ones were speed and unsafe passing. And so what we're hoping on with these results is it's coinciding with ADOT's updated statewide safety plan. And hopefully all that's gonna come together, and we're gonna help amplify roadway safety and driver behavior within the community of Morenci. And we're going to partner with ADOT, and the Greenlee County Sheriff's Office has been providing a lot of support, as well as DPS. And so hopefully we can amplify in the community where people live, work, and play that roadway safety is all our responsibility. We're all responsible for the vehicles we operate. I know we like to blame the other guy, and if everybody would just drive like me, we would have no fatalities, but I could tell personally, I don't drive that great sometimes, and I need to remember that. So I just want to take a moment and thank Director Toth and her team. Greenlee County Sheriff Eric Ellison has been great. He's been posting some pretty incredible videos on his Instagram account of people being pulled over, you know, in excess of 90 miles an hour. You know, Todd Emery, he's always great to work with, very supportive. Caroline Carpenter, the communications director at ADOT, is helping with a lot of the talking points. I just want to publicly acknowledge their efforts. And thank you for your service. And Board Member Bracker, welcome to the board, and I look forward to working with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin. Supervisor Shepard with Vinny Gallegos on deck.
Thank you, Chairwoman Daniels, honorable members of the ADOT board. Good morning to you. I'm glad to be here. As most of you know, I've been traveling almost to all the meetings for ADOT, and it's always good to see everybody here. My name is Alton Joe Shepard. I am a board supervisor in Apache County, representing District 2. Today, I just wanted to bring a couple things to your attention on behalf of my elected position as a board supervisor. Is US 191 north of Chambers. Basically, the road needs some widening. We don't have any shoulders on that, and it's a major school bus route and a transportation route. Anytime I-40 closes down between the state lines, it's rediverted through Highway 264, 191, or Route 15 on Navajo Nation. And so just wanted to bring some attention to that and see if we can get a little bit more information put through. And I met with Ed before he departed or retired about 2 years ago. I mentioned to him that we needed to get some documentations going, as we are doing with 191 up in Round Rock for the widening and north of Chinle. And so I just wanted to bring that to board's attention and also ADOT staff. And also just wanted to say thank you to all the leaderships that are here today, Paul David and former supervisors, and of course my friend Mr. Brackett. I served with him on County Supervisor Association, and I'm sure he's going to be a great asset to his background and information to the board, and will bring some good qualities to the discussions. And so I just want to say thank you to everybody that's here today and listening online. Lastly, I just want to also appreciate all of the ADOT staff members. Yesterday was a day, or 2 days ago, we had our kickoff meeting for the Carino bridge replacement along I-40. And that's an $8 million fully funded program that's going to be reconstructed or constructed in a couple of years. The other one is on your agenda. I think it's item 10C, County Road 5020 and US 180 down southern Apache County for the contract approval. So I just wanted to say thank you for everything that you are doing. And of course, the ADOT millions that we're getting off of the interstate, that's going to our county roads in my southern part of the county, my district. So again, I just want to say thank you, and Mr. Brackett, welcome, and it's good to see you again. And so hopefully we'll meet every other month. So, you know, it's good to see everybody. So with that, thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Vinny?
Good morning, Chair and members of the Transportation Board. My name is Vinny Gallegos, Executive Director of the Central Yavapai MPO over in Prescott, Arizona. I want to thank you for your support on Highway 347. We were able to find a seat today, unlike last meeting, so very grateful for your continued support to improve safety and capacity and a little bit of seating room for the rest of us. It's hard to believe that almost 1 year ago you all were in Prescott. So 11 months ago you were in Prescott for the Arizona Rural Transportation Summit, and a reminder that that's taking place next month. But we think of the effort in that room a year ago to recognize so many of the champions, and many of them are on the dais, many of them are in this room. Want to really acknowledge and appreciate Supervisor Bruce Bracker for the appointment to the State Transportation Board. One of those champions that we recognized, and just continued appreciation really for everyone's efforts and just being the champion that you can be in your cities, towns, county, regions, your state, and we're just continuing to do really good work. It was a long drive from Prescott, so I appreciate all of you that drive from here to other areas, but it was a good 5-hour drive, and it reminds you of the transportation needs that we all have throughout Arizona. So more than anything, just here to say thank you and appreciation and congratulations to Member Bracker. I really appreciate working with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vinny. We will move to the online comment. Jayesh Mystery. Bryce, is Jayesh there?
Yeah, I did see him logged in earlier. Jayesh, please follow the process to raise your hand.
I have requested to unmute your line.
Bryce, is he there?
Mr. Mystery, I have requested to unmute your line. Please unmute your line.
Bryce, you may have to walk him through unmuting his line.
I'm sorry, what was that, Floyd?
Well, maybe help him unmute his line, like walk him through the steps if he's having a issue.
Yes, if you are having issues, please feel free to email me. You can also lower near the microphone on the bottom of your screen. There should be a mute and unmute button if you are having issues.
Do you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. I'm Jayesh Mystery. I'm a 25 years resident of Chapter, Arizona, East Valley. And so it's all fixed. All the suburbs is blowing by leaps and bounds. So many lanes are added. We used to have one lane both each way, then 2 lanes, and now we have 3 and 4 lanes. One of the biggest safety concern I see these days is yielding left turn. I go out in Chandler any time of day, and there will be a yielding left turn wrap somewhere, some junction. I came from an Oregon state where they never allow yielding left turn. Everybody make left turn on the green arrow only. I'm not sure with increased traffic, increased lanes, why are we not doing these kind of changes in our Arizona state? Because accident rates are very high and it's making all the insurance rates for the citizens go up, skyrocketing. I hope we can take care of this big safety issue and make our Arizona roads safe by adding no yielding left turn on green arrow only. Please. Thank you.
Thank you, Jayesh. And Florence Mayor Keith Eaton, we saw that you were online today and wondered if we had missed an opportunity to hear from you. So would Florence Mayor Keith Eaton like to say anything at the board meeting today?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Madam Chair, Vice Chair, and board members. So again, my name is Keith Eaton. I'm the Florence Mayor, and I will be the one representing Florence at these meetings in the future. And it is my intent to do that in person. However, for today, since we had an emergency executive session last night, I wasn't able to get that direction this morning. Anyway, I just want to thank you all for what you do. I want to give a quick shout out to the ADOT team that was just in Florence a couple weeks ago with the 505 meeting. Great group of folks that came. The team done a great job explaining and answering questions. And we look very much forward to interacting with this board and conveying our needs in not only Pinal County, but in the town of Florence. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. And that concludes the communications from citizens. Have I missed anyone else, Floyd, or any last
No,
minute
Madam Chair,
requests?
that's all that we received.
Thank you. And just a reminder to all those who spoke and also the rest of the audience, due to open meeting law and posting requirements, we're not allowed to respond to the requests that have been received today, but I will assure you that the concerns that have been raised will be followed up on both by staff and by board members as needed. So thank you for your patience there. There's been a request to do a mic check for our board members that are online, both Ted Maxwell and Mayor Hermosillo, if that's all right. So Ted, can we hear you?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mayor Hermosillo?
I'm not there in person. My intention was to fly into the Stafford Airport. I have another RT or another state transportation responsibility down here in Tucson at a meeting that I need to be at in person immediately after this. So I look forward to flying into the airport. I appreciate the support of that, and I promised Member Howard I would come fly into the Stafford Airport to take a look. It looked incredible from above.
Thank you, Board Member Maxwell. Yes, anxiously engaged in a good cause still in transportation, so thank you. And then Board Member Hermosillo, just a mic check for you as well.
Yes, Can you hear me? I can hear you as well.
Terrific, thank you. All right, we will move.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. We will move now to item 1, our director's report. Director Toth was unable to be in attendance with us today, but I believe she's participating virtually.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Graham County, for welcoming us to Safford. I do wish I could be there in person today. I'm thankful that I can be here with you online. I do want to also welcome Bruce Bracker to the board. We're happy you're here. You bring a unique perspective thanks to your service to the community and your business background in Nogales as well. So please know we are here to help you as you get acquainted with your new role. Please feel free to reach out to us with any questions. We are definitely here to help. So interestingly enough, I was going to speak about our safety campaign. I do want to share a quick overview of our new safety campaign that we have developed that is set to launch very soon. We're very excited about this. The campaign was developed to elevate awareness of traffic safety in Arizona. Our big goal is to inspire those behavioral changes among drivers and reduce the traffic-related fatalities. So the campaign is called There's No Such Thing as Accidents. It's focused on ways people can make good decisions behind the wheel so that everyone gets home. The campaign is rooted in the fact that driver behavior is a factor in more than 90% of crashes. That's drivers choosing to drive impaired, choosing to speed, and choosing to drive unrestrained. Those are all choices, and they often lead to fatal crashes. So those aren't accidents, they are preventable, and that's the message that we're trying to get across. We are going to raise awareness through TV and radio, public service announcements, social media, and online ads, as well as advertising in restaurants and sporting events. There's also a very critical internal component. The main focus of our internal employee effort is a driver's seat pledge, and we're asking ADOT employees to lead by example by taking that pledge to help make our roads safer. So to develop this campaign, we're working with our partners at the Department of Public Safety and the Governor's Office on Highway Safety, and I'm very excited to see it launch internally for ADOT employees and externally to drivers statewide. And all of this is tied to our strategic highway safety plan, which, as you know, is the agency's roadmap for all things related to roadway safety. So this plan establishes strategies and it sets goals of reducing life-altering crashes 20% by 2030. And so when the campaign launches next month, I encourage you to help us spread the message with your friends, your families, colleagues. Just sharing that message with anyone that you touch would be very helpful. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Toth. Does any member of the board have questions for Director Toth? Okay, all is well. We'll move on to agenda item 2, our district report, and invite Todd Emery to give us an update.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Welcome to the Southeast District. I have a brief presentation for you that will go over our active construction projects here in the Southeast District. So the Queen Creek Bridge is a bridge replacement project on US 60 at milepost 227.7. This is just east of Superior. The contractor is Ames Construction. The contract bid amount is about $40.7 million on this project. The project is about 43% complete with 51% time spent. Currently, the ongoing work includes the roadway cut, the eastbound roadway cut. They're working on the Pier 2, construction of the Pier 2, and they're currently working on the westbound rockfall barrier.
The estimated completion date right now for this project is August of 2027. Our Waterfall Canyon Bridge, which is a bridge replacement project on US 60 at milepost 229.5, this is just east of the Queen Creek Tunnel and just east of the Queen Creek Bridge. Contractor is Ames Construction. That contract bid amount is about $3.9 million. That project is about 23% complete with 51% time spent. You'll notice that both the Queen Creek Bridge and Waterfall Canyon are both 51%. That's because they were bid together and their time is the same. And that project, currently the ongoing and upcoming work includes, we're going to be doing some injection grouting to help facilitate the construction of the fascia walls, which are walls that are at the ends of the box culverts. And the estimated completion date for that project is fall of 2027. Our 7th Street to milepost 173 is a pavement rehabilitation project on US 191 from milepost 163 to milepost 173. This is going through just outside of Clifton and then up through Morenci. The contractor is F&F Construction. The contract bid amount is about $10.1 million. This project is about 96% complete with 89% time spent. So essentially the project is nearly complete. We do have some remaining work, which includes some guardrail adjustments and the permanent striping. And we're estimated to be complete in September of this year. The Tabletop Road to 7th Street project is a pavement preservation project that's just east of that 7th Street, or just, to the east of the 7th Street to milepost 173 project. From milepost 160 to milepost 163. Contractor is F&F Construction, and that contract was bid for about $1.2 million. That project is 74% complete with 96% time spent. This project is very near complete as well. And the remaining work that we have is rumble strips and some permanent striping. So we estimate that project to also be complete in September of this year. The US 191 at State Route 75 and State Route 78. This is a construct roundabout project on US 191 at milepost 154. The contractor is Granite Construction. Contract bid amount was about $6.5 million. This project is 83% complete with about 125% time spent. This project is also pretty close to being done. The remaining work includes some landscape rock and the final pavement markings. And we actually estimate this project to also be finishing up in August or September of this year. Just to kind of show you some pictures of the US 60 Queen Creek Bridge project. Hopefully you can see those. The picture on the top left, a little bit hard to see, but in the middle of that picture on the far left, what you'll see is the completed pier number 3 for the new Queen Creek Bridge. And then a little bit harder to see, but I wanted to show you so you can see where the new bridge is going to be. To the right of that, you could see some rebar coming up, possibly out of the ground, and that's for the new drilled shaft for Pier 4. So that kind of gives you an idea where the new Pier 3 and Pier 4 is going to be for the new bridge. The picture on the bottom in the middle, that shows the completed westbound rockfall cut. That took a considerable amount of time to remove that material, but it is now essentially complete. And the picture on the top right, you can see the 2 cranes that are there. Those cranes are currently working on Pier 2 for the Queen Creek Bridge, and the pier is just behind the crane on the left. So it's coming up out of the ground and making some progress.
Real quick on that project, do we anticipate Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday closures for how many more months are you anticipating that?
Madam Chair, that's a great question.
If you had a crystal ball, Todd.
Actually, we're still going to have some closures throughout the project, but it's actually starting to taper down. A lot of that was due to those rockfall cuts. That big westbound cut that's now completed, and they're nearing the completion of the eastbound cut. So actually, I thought I was going to get stuck this week going to Phoenix, only to find out they weren't closed this week. So based on what the project team has told me and my understanding, we're going to start seeing less and less.
The detour is still pretty. It's just a little bit longer, so.
I've done that detour myself. All right. And then on this, so the two pictures on the left, the top and the bottom, is of the Waterfall Canyon Bridge. So that's the one just east of the Queen Creek Bridge. And that shows you the new box culverts that have been constructed under the existing bridge. And then the picture on the right, I was happy to get this picture. This shows a top view of the new roundabout there at Three-Way. And this is a large roundabout. And I had the opportunity earlier this week to drive through it myself, and it seems to be operating very well. So, okay, our Schultz Ranch to Town of Miami project is a drainage improvements project on US 60 from milepost 241.4 to 242.2. This is just west of Miami on US 60. The contractor is Meridian Engineering Company. That contract bid amount is about $4.7 million. This project is about 68% complete with 93% time spent. The ongoing work includes riprap, placement of riprap, guardrail installation, embankment curb installation, and concrete spillway installation. We do estimate this project to be completed in September of this year. The West Santee Street to US 70 is a pavement rehabilitation project on US 60 from milepost 250.1 to 252.1. This is in Globe, in the city of Globe. The contractor is Granite Construction. This contract bid amount is about $4.6 million, and this project is just getting started, so it's 0% complete with 6% time spent. And we estimate this project to be complete in January of 2026. County Road 220 to Yellow Jacket Road. This is a construct passing lane project on US 70 from milepost 287.9 to milepost 289. This is just west of Bilas and the Gila River Bridge. And this is a westbound, this will be a westbound passing lane. The contractor is Sholo Construction. Contract bid amount is about $3.5 million. And this project also is just getting started, so it's only about 8% complete with 4% time spent. And we estimate this project will be completed in March of 2026. Our Ray Lane to 8th Street. This is a project, it's a pavement rehabilitation project on US 70 from milepost 335 to 340. Essentially is going from the west side of Thatcher to the east side of Safford. The contractor is Sunland Asphalt and Construction. The contract bid amount is about $9.5 million. And this project is 0% complete with 0% time. This is just getting started, this project. And we estimate this project will be completed in June of 2026. And our East Wilcox TIUP Bridge is a bridge rehabilitation project on I-10 from milepost 344.5 to 345.5 to 345.5. This project is just east of Wilcox. Contractor is Granite Construction. Contract bid amount is about $1.1 million. This project is substantially complete. And then just a couple more pictures for you. The project, or the picture on the left, is of the US 60 Schultz Ranch project. And you can see this is the riprap that we've been placing along the bank to stabilize it. And then the two pictures on the right, the top right, this is for the I-10 Wilcox TI project. The top right shows a repair area on the bridge deck where we removed unsound concrete. It shows the exposed rebar there. And then the picture on the bottom right shows that repair that's been completed with the patching material. And with that, thank you. Be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Todd. Any questions? District report, please.
Thank you so much. What was the scheduled completion on the Schultz Ranch Road again?
September of this year.
Okay. Thank you very much. I do have a couple comments as well because we all drive. People from Graham County use 70, 60 to Phoenix multiple times a week, some. And I would like to say that I appreciate Ames for always opening it back up when they say it will be open. I've driven it more times than not, and it's never been delayed to open back up. And I usually try and schedule my trips based on that. And I want to thank ADOT for the communications that they provide on these closures. They're on the web, they're on 511. Thank you, David, from Gila Valley Central, a local news media. He posts the closures on a constant basis. That's our lifeline to the valley, and so it's much appreciated. It's an inconvenience, obviously, but darn worth it in the end. So, and I appreciate all you do as well. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, without any additional comments from the board, we'll move to agenda item 3, our consent agenda. Does any member of the board want an item removed from consent for additional discussion? Seeing none, we will entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
We have a motion by board member Bracker and a second by board member Howard. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That carries unanimously. Thank you. We'll move to agenda item 4 and invite Christine Ward for our financial report.
Well, good morning.
Morning.
It was a beautiful morning in Safford. Look out and see the clouds and the mountains. It was just wonderful. I'm very happy to be here. Welcome, Mr. Brackford. It's nice to have you on board, and if there's anything I can do, any questions I can answer, please reach out. Okay, so who's got the slides? Have you got them, Chuck? Okay, great. Let's go first to HERF, the Highway User Revenue Fund. We haven't got a ton to report this morning, just FYI. It's our first, we just closed out the fiscal year. It's our first month of revenues coming in for HERF. We got about 148 million collected, and we're right within target range. If you go to the next slide, you'll see the individual categories for that same month. You'll see that we are about 2.5% over July of last year and 1.4% above target. The concerning factor here, if there's anything to talk about here, it is the continued weakening of the gas tax. We are exploring why we are seeing increased exports, which mean that we have to give refunds back. But when we compare them year over year, we've been looking at about 3 to 5 years worth of data, we're not seeing tremendous anomalies. So it appears we are just seeing that weakening that we have been forecasting for some time that is pretty understandable by just about everyone around, including elementary children. So moving on to the Regional Area Road Fund. Now, I have to regretfully inform you that this slide will be being replaced because we had a version control issue. When you see the Regional Area Road Fund, this is giving our total report for the year. We're finally closing out the year, and with about 768 million collected, but in those, and Mr. Maxwell has asked me about this in the past, you'll see on the slide under retail sales, contracting, restaurant, and bar, where we speak to those growth figures, the language is incorrect. So we'll be correcting that, getting a new version out and up on the webpage. Going into the individual categories for the final month of the year for Regional Area Road Fund, we're just seeing a continual it's a contracting of contracting. So with that, let's go on to the next slide. Now here's where I need to tell you, you might, if you've looked at this slide with any detail, you'll see that Oh my goodness, it says 101% of the board-approved program has been obligated. Chairwoman Daniels, this is the first year we have closed out with this brand new slide at your request, and we're having a few little hiccups and seeing ways of how to present this. But what you're seeing is the 5-year program, when you guys approve it, the statewide portion of that program is fiscally constrained by year, and it is dominated by federal funding. And federal funding is use or lose funding. But this slide covers the program for not just the statewide portions that are funded by the feds. It also covers the regional area road fund. Well, during this year, there were updates to estimates, and if the cash flow supports doing so, we will update estimates, or we might advance projects. And because the RARF cash flow has that ability, then if it has that capacity, then you will see dollars added to projects, but projects approved by this board. So let me be clear. So it looks a little weird. I'm examining different ways to present this, but that's what you're seeing. Any questions on that? Okay. Well, with that, I'll take any questions. I don't have anything further to report.
Thank you, Christine, and thanks for providing that slide. I think ongoing, we'll be getting a quarterly update with that slide. Is that what we
Yes, ma'am, that's what we've agreed to, and I think that it's working. This first closeout of the year, it's when you're closing the year out, it gets a little tough.
Right, and there's an explanation for going to 101% versus the 100%, and that 1% is obviously explainable, so I think we're good.
Thank you very much. Have a great day,
Any
everyone.
other questions for the?
I just have one comment, Christine, if you could do one for me. Could you explain a little bit more about the RARF fund and what the funding is used for and where it comes from? Just a real quick synopsis.
Sure. It's a half-cent sales tax that is charged in the Maricopa County region, and it is dedicated to transportation purposes. It's broken down into 3 categories. This current tax, because right now we're operating on Proposition 400. To defy it, those funds are dedicated to the Freeway Life Cycle Program, they're dedicated to arterial streets, and they're dedicated to public transit. What you're hearing me report on is the totality of the fund, and that's where we do our forecasts, and then we subsequently have the split ups. Does that answer your question?
Thank you. I wanted to cover a misconception by a lot of rural Arizona that has the idea that Maricopa County utilizes all of the transportation funding first, but I'm trying to help them understand that they passed a sales tax to help with that in Maricopa. So that's kind of why I wanted you to explain that a little better.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
That is dedicated. They taxed themselves for that region, and that funding is dedicated to that region.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Please.
Christine can go to her seat, so I'm just going to pay her a compliment. I just want to let the board know and let everybody there know that Christine spent a lot of time recently with me, and it's become very helpful as we begin to explore the idea how we can modernize our transportation infrastructure funding in the state of Arizona. And so she's done a lot of great work of not only digging up what other states are doing, but she's also doing a lot of good work looking at what things like not having an index gas taxes had on us, what the impact of new cars with better mileage, electric vehicles. And we're taking a look at pretty much everything, because as I said, this isn't about raising taxes. It's about figuring out how we can properly fund our infrastructure so that all the folks that come talk to us in the call the audience get to know that we've got enough money to do it, and we can avoid state sweeps, which has hurt us in the past as well. So thank you, Christine. I appreciate all your work, and thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. Are we? Okay,
I'm sure you can sit now. Yeah, slow walk that one if you would. We'll now move to agenda item 5 and invite Matt Mull to come forward for our multimodal planning division report. Matt?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Good morning. So tribal transportation updates. 23 USC, which is United States Code 202, paragraph A9, authorizes state DOTs to transfer eligible federal funds directly to tribal governments through an intergovernmental funds transfer agreement, or IFTA. Eligible funding sources for these transfer agreements include overall federal aid and other funds such as transportation enhancement, surface transportation program, strategic highway research program, highway safety improvement program, and other discretionary funds or programs authorized under Title 23. Benefits to tribes in the states. Tribes can administer the federal program funding, contracting, and project completion. The state is relieved of oversight responsibility if the project is on a state-owned facility. We'll have to negotiate that. State administrative fees are reduced or removed. State personnel are freed up to work on other projects. After identifying opportunities, tribes, states, and the FHWA and BIA will work together to reach an agreement that works for all three parties. The basic process includes the project facility must be included in the tribe's TIP and transportation inventory. The tribe initiates a request to the agency division administrator of the funding program. An IFTA is negotiated, reviewed, and agreed upon by the state, FHWA, and/or BIA. The transfer is made from the state in coordination with COG or MPO as needed to the tribe, and any unexpended funds have to be returned. Next slide, Chuck. Next, federal funds administered tribal project. An intergovernmental agreement between ADOT and the San Carlos Apache tribe was executed on July 1st of this year to construct street lighting, complete pavement striping, and install pavement markers on White Mountain Road and Airport Road within the San Carlos Apache community. HSIP funding in the amount of $2,075,000 has been awarded to construct this project. Pending final authorization, the work may commence. And the other project on here is the US 70 passing lane project just west of Bylis, and I'm sure everyone is looking forward to that additional westbound passing opportunity. Next. The ADOT SR 264 corridor planning study is being conducted in collaboration with the Hopi tribe to examine the corridor for potential engineering and operational improvements from Moncopie to the Navajo Apache County lines. We are 10 months into the study, and the study is scheduled to be completed by December of this year. The third technical working group for this study will be held on August 25th at the ADOT North Central District Office in Flagstaff. At this meeting, we'll go over a tour of the working paper 2 to identify deficiencies and establish evaluation criteria and review the final prioritization framework and alternatives prior to the prioritization process. Project team appreciates the support and contributions from our partners, the Hopi tribe, the neighboring tribe of the Navajo Nation, along with our stakeholders such as NACOG, Navajo County, Coconino County, and the BIA. And there's a link here on this slide, but I'm not even going to attempt to read it to you. With that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Matt. Any questions for Matt? And I don't believe there are any additional items today. Does that conclude the?
For this item number, yes.
Perfect. All right. It looks like we do not have any applications for agenda item 6, which is the AZ State Match AZ Smart Fund Program, and we'll move to agenda item 7. And you're up again. No one's allowed to leave the podium once they
Which
get
one
there.
is 7, NEVI or the?
Yeah, PPAC.
PPAC, okay. You have that one ready to go check? Thank you. The first 4 items are project modifications. I can't read it from here.
So, Matt, in the interest of time, you could just lump all of items 7A through 7F, the modification and new projects, into one motion.
You know I love doing that, so.
That's what I was hoping for.
Yes, we're happy to do that for you and us. All right, is there a motion to approve PPAT project modifications and new projects items 7A through 7F as presented?
So moved.
Do we have a second? We have a motion by Board Member Howard.
Second.
And a second by Board Member Pashlikai. Apologies, Board Member Hermosillo, did you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah, I was just about to second. So.
Oh, thank you. Okay, thanks. Appreciate it. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please vote. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? That motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to agenda item 8.
Nevi?
Are you handcuffed to that podium over there? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you're up for the next one.
So Nevi, at our last meeting in Flagstaff, the board requested a brief update on our Nevi program. So I'm going to give that to you today just to educate some of the new board members and refresh everyone's memory that's been here a while. Next slide, Chuck. So the NEVI program, there was $5 billion available to the states under NEVI over 5 years. Arizona is eligible for up to $76.5 million of this funding across 5 years. The federal funding can only be used as directed, the construction or upgrade of EV fast charging stations along designated routes. Designated routes were selected as alternative fuel corridors that fall on the national highway system, which was approved by the board. Next slide, Chuck. NEVI requires the states to develop a plan for EV fast chargers and to update it annually for the duration of the NEVI program. So there was a pullback of this funding. We were one of 14 of 17 states that received relief because we did have a plan that we were already enacting, so we were able to display harm. Stations have to be placed no more than 50 miles apart. Exceptions are allowed where there's just no way to put a station in. Stations must be located within 1 mile of that national highway system route. And at least 4 150 kilowatt charging stations must be provided at each location. So you have to have a total of 4 stalls. Next slide, Chuck. Stations in Arizona will be privately owned, constructed, maintained, and operated. State funding is not used to support this program. It's 80% federal and 20% covered by the awarded private sector contractor, and that serves as the match. As far as connectors, there are several different types of connectors. It's required that they be equipped with the combined charging system SAE J1772 connector. It also allows for us to install different types of connectors. So we're installing both, what is referred to as the CCS and the NACS, which used to be referred to as a Tesla connector. So we'll have both at each location. So our charging network has been identified, funded, and it will be built in phases along National Highway System alternative fuel corridors. The 2022 plan covered the interstate highways, which are shown on this map in blue. The 2023 plan included locations on 7 additional highways that are red. 2024 covered the highways in purple, and the proposed 2025 will evaluate the additional highways shown in light blue. Next slide, Chuck. Okay. Phase 1 is authorized. The 2022 EV plan network and station locations on the interstate highways.
Matt?
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes, sir. Board Member Bracker.
State routes are not included in any of this infrastructure?
To be eligible, it can be an interstate, a US route, or a state route, but it has to be listed on the national highway system. So in response to your question, there was a question in Flagstaff why there were no locations in Graham or Greenlee counties. It's because there are no national highway system routes in Graham or Greenlee County, even though this is US 70 right through the middle of town.
I think, Matt, to kind of clarify that, they were federally designated routes, but they had to be designated as alternative fuel corridor. And the Congress had put a limitation on the number of miles that could be designated alternative fuel corridor. So that's one of the issues we've been also dealing with, is how to see if we can expand that designation in conjunction with the state and federal routes in order to expand NEVI. And I think that's even being deliberated at a Congress or national level of how to adjust that as well. So there was a couple different criteria that had to be met.
So that will take congressional act in order to change that.
To expand the mileage, to allow alternative fuel corridor mileage to be expanded to include other routes, state and federal routes, or even local routes. Right now, no local routes are included in that.
So the ideal scenario for a board member who wishes to have additional EV charging stations eligible in their county would be to contact their congressperson.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it.
Madam Chair, I have a follow-up question. Would that also include, that recommendation also include tribal nations? Because in my district, Coconino, Navajo, and Apache counties, that northeast corner, that is that has a large part that shows there's no charging stations there, is all Navajo and Hopi tribal reservations. And I'd like to add that although the tribes are sovereign, there's a lot of federal offices and jurisdiction there. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Can we move on?
Did you want to respond to her question about?
There was a question.
So tribal versus non-tribal land has no bearing on this program. It's the classification of the highway and the identification as an alternative fuel corridor.
So Madam Chair, so would the recommendation that was given to other local agencies and districts be also recommended for tribal nations?
It would be the same strategy, yes. The same channels.
Thank you.
According to the map that you've provided on, let's see, slide 7, Matt, there is an eligible corridor, but it doesn't meet some of the other criteria to put a charging station. So your purple line that runs both through Navajo and Apache counties and Coconino County as well. So there is potential there, but there's other elements of criteria that make it so that we can't put one there yet. But again, in the future, that will be an option, hopefully with additional funding.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Correct, thank you.
Yeah, well said, that's actually right. Yep, well said.
So phase 1 has been authorized, the network and station locations on the interstates. I think this slide is somewhat repetitive. So phase 3, the 2025 plan and draft is due September 10th. The proposed 2025 plan includes 16 additional stations in light blue, 1 public outreach at the end of this month, which will be recorded on the ADOT website, and there's an AFC nomination document to be submitted. Next slide, Chuck. So, awards. 18 of the station locations along the interstates have been awarded. We received proposals for 18 out of the 21 sites that we issued solicitations for. The 3 sites that didn't receive proposals the last time will be advertised again with the locations that are in phase 2 to get a second attempt at getting some solicitations to construct those. We're going to use a public-private partnership method to build, upgrade, operate, and maintain the stations, and we project completion in 2026. Next slide. And
Real quick, Matt, do we have any, I mean, it seems maybe slightly obvious, but I want to make sure I'm not making any assumptions. The reason that we did not receive proposals for 3 of the potential sites, is it because it's a cost prohibitive or the ROI takes too long from a private sector investment standpoint?
Madam Chair, if you remember in Flagstaff, the locations that were reviewed and approved by the board, some of the locations had a higher dollar amount. And that was one of the challenges with those 3 stations, is the amount that we estimated was slightly too low. So we have to go back out with a higher not to exceed amount.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Last slide.
The last slide is our project website and contact information. And Jesse Schneider is our subject matter expert with all things NEVI. That's all I have.
Thank you, Matt. Any questions from the board?
Madam Chair.
Board Member Pashkai?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Matt, I don't want to try to say your last name. I don't know how to say it. Matt, would it be, I don't know if you have the NEVI programs and this kind of information on the agenda for the August 25th meeting in Flagstaff with the tribes, but if it would be possible to add some information about the charging stations and how to go about that, could that be done?
I think we can certainly accommodate that. Thank you for the suggestion.
Thank you, Matt.
Madam Chair, if I would, and Matt, I'd like to expand that to also include, because I think there are other federal programs for tribes that are out there than just the NEVI that was given to the state. And if we could maybe do a little research and bring that to that meeting as well, Matt, I think that would be very helpful.
Sure.
Thank you for, Madam Chair, thank you for that, Floyd. Yeah.
Thank you. Is there any questions from the members on the phone? Okay, we will, thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
We'll move on to agenda item 9. We have our state engineers report with Greg. And as Greg's walking up, I will ask the board if they have any questions for Greg on his agenda item, both 9 and 10. Okay, go ahead and proceed.
So thank you,
Greg?
Madam Chair,
No
board members. So for item 9, we have 97 projects that are currently under construction worth $2.9 billion. We have 13 projects that were finalized in the month of July worth $54.6 million, and fiscal year to date, those 13 projects.
Thank you, Greg. I'll cut you off there and check to see with the board if there's any questions or concerns. Okay, we have the information in the slides, Greg, so we'll move on to agenda item 10, if that's all right.
So for item number 10, we have to date, you're looking at, oh, actually, if we can go back just to look at what we've got to date.
They'll go back to.
Yes.
Slide
right
10.
there.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Keep on going. There's
Slide.
a table that there you go. So that's just a table to kind of show you where we're at with the projects that we have for today. We'll go into more detail on those here in a minute. So next slide, please. So next slide.
And Greg, I know that there's, let's see, 5 for approval and 1 for rejection. Is that correct?
That is correct. We need to, if you want to just do 2 different votes, we can certainly do that. So
sure.
4 for approval and 1 for rejection.
Oh, forgive me, I miscounted. Okay.
For A through D would be approval and E would be a rejection.
Math is hard for me at this hour, so, and all hours. Do we have a motion on agenda items 10A through 10D, following the recommendation from staff to award those 4 contracts?
I'll second.
We have a motion by Board Member Bracker and a second by Board Member Howard. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. And would you give us an update on agenda item E, please?
So item 10E is a curve realignment in Yuma County. We had one bidder on this particular project. After reviewing the bid documents, it turns out that there was an error in the DBE requirements. It was a substantial error, so consequently we had to reject the bid. We will take, since we only had one bidder, we will be rebidding the project again in the next round.
Thank you. Any questions for Greg on 10E? All right, is there a motion to reject?
So moved.
So moved.
Second. Ted.
Your second then? Okay. We have a motion by Board Member Maxwell and a second by Board Member Bracker. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, that motion carries unanimously as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. All right, are there any suggestions for future agenda items from the board? Seeing none, I would like to, do you have
I just have one comment.
Please.
I'm really excited, Christine, to see your presentation on the work that you've done with TED. And I had mentioned it a couple of months ago, just some ideas to get things flowing as to what we're going to do about this transportation shortage. So we can also go to work to help as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, Board Member Maxwell?
So I've started putting together the agenda for the meeting schedule for next week, and Floyd's gotten me all the appropriate contact information to get in touch with each of you. So start thinking about where in your district you'd like to hold a transportation board meeting. I'll be reaching out within the next week. We already have on the agenda right now, or the schedule right now, we already have a first Thursday in February study session, which is where they'll present to us the 5-year plan, but we will also, as part of that study session, discuss what the possibilities and what actions and discussions we can have on considerations to modernizing our state infrastructure funding sources. So thank you, and I appreciate all the help on that, as well as apologize again for not being there in person.
Thank you, Board Member Maxwell. Board Member Peshakai, did you have a comment?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. The next Transportation Board meeting will be in my district, in my community of Tuba City. So I hope you're all able to make it, and that goes for all the board members as well. And please reach out to me if you need any help in any questions. And we're looking forward to hosting that. Eheha.
Thank you, Board Member Peshakai. I just wanted to mention in advance that next week is the League of Arizona Cities and Towns Conference, where all 91 of our municipalities will gather for discussions on a variety of topics, and there are a couple of topics of note that I think might be interesting to the board members. One is one that is going to be represented by Stacy Ginn, the Deputy Director. She will be participating in a panel presentation entitled Miles Ahead or Miles Behind, and it's an analysis of our current system here in Arizona. There's also some procurement and other sort of future forward, as well as legislative outlook opportunities, and I know that there will be members there very much interested in discussing transportation funding and opportunities across the state. So I am looking forward to that discussion, and to continue to work with our local municipalities to see our system continue to grow and operate more efficiently. So very much looking forward to that. And I do have one request of our board, if we could gather for a photo immediately after this meeting, because we want to document Mr. Bracker's first meeting and make sure we get him in a photo. So if you don't mind, just for 1 second, staying after. Okay, any other additional comments or questions from the board? All right, seeing none, thank you all for attending today, and safe travels. Meeting is adjourned.